In a small, serene village nestled among the misty mountains of ancient China, there lived a curious and determined boy named Liang. Though only 14, Liang was known for his courage and relentless spirit. His mother would often say he had the heart of a tiger, though she worried his youthful zeal sometimes lacked wisdom. One spring morning, as the cherry blossoms began to bloom, a crisis swept through Liang's village. The main irrigation canal that fed water to the rice paddies had been blocked by a massive boulder. Without water, the crops would wither and the village would face famine. The villagers gathered at the site, murmuring anxiously. They tried every method they could think of, pushing, pulling, chiseling at the stone with iron tools, but the boulder remained immovable. Even the strongest men in the village admitted defeat. Liang's heart ached as he saw the despair in his neighbors' faces. "We cannot give up," he declared. "There must be a way." His father placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "Liang, strength alone cannot solve this. We need wisdom." "Then I will seek it," Liang replied, his voice steady with resolve. He had heard whispers of an old sage, Master Shen, who lived high in the mountains. People said he possessed profound knowledge and insight. If anyone could help, it would be him. The next morning, before the first rays of sunlight touched the village, Liang set out on his journey. He carried with him a satchel of steamed buns, a flask of water, and a determination as solid as the boulder he sought to move. The path to Master Shen's dwelling was steep and winding, flanked by towering pines and cascading streams. As Liang climbed higher, the air grew crisp, and the sounds of the village faded into silence. He encountered challenges along the way: a precarious bridge swaying over a deep gorge, a sudden downpour that turned the path to mud, and even a wild boar that charged him before darting away into the underbrush. Through it all, Liang pressed on, his resolve unwavering. By the time he reached the summit, his legs trembled with exhaustion, but his spirit remained unbroken. Master Shen's home was a simple hut made of bamboo and stone, surrounded by a garden of herbs and wildflowers. The sage himself was sitting on a wooden bench, gazing out at the horizon where the sun dipped low, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson. He was an old man with a long silver beard and eyes that seemed to hold the secrets of the universe. "Come," Master Shen said without turning his head. "I have been expecting you." Liang hesitated, surprised. "You knew I was coming?" "When the heart seeks wisdom, it often finds its way here," the old man replied with a gentle smile. "Tell me, young one, what burdens your soul?" Liang explained the plight of his village, describing the immovable boulder and the despair of his people. Master Shen listened intently, nodding occasionally, but saying nothing. When Liang finished, the old man closed his eyes and was silent for a long moment. Just as Liang began to wonder if he had fallen asleep, Master Shen spoke. "You wish to move the boulder, but have you asked yourself why it does not move?" Liang blinked, confused. "It is too large, too heavy. We lack the strength." Master Shen chuckled softly. "The strength of many can move mountains, but it is not always about force. Sometimes the question is not how to move the boulder, but how to make it irrelevant." Liang frowned, puzzled. "I don't understand." "You will," the sage replied, "but first you must learn 3 lessons. Only then will you see the path clearly." The next morning, Master Shen handed Liang a small wooden bucket and pointed to a stream that flowed down the mountainside. "Your first lesson is patience," he said. "Fill this bucket with water from the stream, but use only a single leaf to carry it." Liang's eyes widened in disbelief. "That will take forever." "Indeed," Master Shen said with a twinkle in his eye, "and yet it must be done." For hours, Liang worked tirelessly, scooping water with a broad leaf and transferring it to the bucket. The process was slow and frustrating, but he persisted. By dusk, the bucket was half full. As he watched the water shimmer in the fading light, Liang realized that his initial impatience had given way to a quiet rhythm. The task had taught him focus and endurance. "Good," Master Shen said when Liang returned. "You have learned patience. Now your second lesson is perspective." The sage led Liang to a cliff overlooking the valley. "What do you see?" he asked. Liang described the sprawling landscape, the winding river, the distant peaks, the tiny dots that were villages. "And yet, from your village, you cannot see all of this," Master Shen said. "Perspective changes everything. Sometimes to solve a problem, you must step back and see the bigger picture." Liang nodded thoughtfully, the old man's words sinking in. For the third lesson, Master Shen handed Liang a small, smooth stone. Take this to the base of the waterfall and place it beneath the cascading water. Then tell me what you observe. Liang did as instructed. He placed the stone in the torrent and watched as the water flowed over it, shaping and smoothing its surface over time. Returning to Master Shen, he described what he had seen. The third lesson is adaptability, the sage explained. The stone does not resist the water, it lets itself be shaped by the flow. In life, rigidity leads to failure, but flexibility allows you to endure and thrive. With the 3 lessons imprinted on his heart, Liang descended the mountain. When he reached the village, he found the people still despairing over the blocked canal. Let us dig a new channel around the boulder, Liang suggested. It may take time, but it will allow the water to flow. The villagers were skeptical, but Liang's confidence inspired them. Together, they began to dig, guided by patience, perspective, and adaptability. Over the course of several days, they carved a new path for the water, and when the first stream trickled into the rice paddies, a cheer erupted. The crops were saved, and the village rejoiced. Liang's father embraced him, pride shining in his eyes. You have brought wisdom to our people, my son. From that day forward, Liang was no longer seen as just a boy, but as a leader. And though he often thought of Master Shen's teachings, he knew the greatest wisdom lay not in the words themselves, but in living them. In the years to come, Liang would face many challenges, but the lessons of the mountain never left him. They became his guiding principles, the secret wisdom that turned every obstacle into an opportunity for growth.